Hey, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Less Stress with Mindfulness. My name is Cecilia Howard, and just a gentle reminder that what I do here on this YouTube channel is I offer opportunities to have little talks like this, where I just sort of talk about things that are affecting me when it comes to either COVID-19 or quarantine, mindfulness, things that I feel are relevant to what's happening in my life and perhaps in your life right now. In addition to these little talks, I offer free Zoom mindfulness meditation classes on Mondays at 10 a.m., Thursdays at 7 p.m. Those are about 40 minutes to 45 minutes in length. I talk for about 10 minutes at the opening, and we practice for about 20 minutes or so. And I do post some of those on this YouTube channel as well. So you have plenty of opportunity to catch some of those Zoom sessions if you don't want to join in. If you would like to join in on any of those Zoom sessions, there's two ways you can do that. I am on Meetup. I have a Meetup site called Mindful Presence Meditation NH for New Hampshire. Mindful Presence Meditation NH, New Hampshire. Join that group and you'll automatically have the listing of the two different classes that I do, and you can sign on to those whenever you want. The other way to get access to the link with the embedded password, because you need the embedded password in order to enter the class, is on my home webpage, which is Mindful Presence Reiki, REIKI.com. And right on the home page, just a short distance down on the front of the home page, I have the links to the Zoom meetings. So I wanted to take just a little bit of time today, maybe about 10 minutes or so, just to kind of talk about humor, laughter, things that we can do to sort of lighten the load, to alleviate some of the feeling of tension and stress and anxiety that we're feeling. I want to acknowledge the fact that laughter, and we've heard this so often, laughter can be so healing. Humor can be so healing. And it doesn't take away from the seriousness of what's happening right now in the world at large or right now in your own life. Because let's face it, there's many more things happening in this world other than just what's happening with COVID-19. COVID-19 is certainly huge in terms of its broad reach, and it's touching all of our lives around the world. But each and every one of us have our own set of circumstances, and there are things that are happening in our own immediate world that are difficult and challenging. And I don't want to suggest that we belittle or make light of those things. What I am suggesting, however, is that it is okay to not focus our attention 24/7, 365 on what's happening right here and right now. Many of you who know me, who've taken classes with me before or listened to some of my other talks, you know that I am a huge proponent of turning off the TV, the news, the broadcasts, but turning it on when it comes to watching things that are lighter, that make us laugh, that bring a smile to our face, sharing stories and opportunities with other people to bring a smile to everyone's face, and not feeling as though when people make a joke or are being funny or are trying to smile through the pain of whatever's going on, not to feel as though that they're taking away from your ability to focus on things in a more serious fashion, but to let that lightness through. There are a lot of opportunities that we can gain from this time right now. And since our circumstances are very different, and certainly the world is a very different place, there are certainly opportunities for us to do things in a slightly different way, or for many of us, it's in a very different way than we've done in the past. But when it comes to laughter, it's to me, it's something that is just so important. And those sources of laughter can come from many, many different places. One of the things that happened just this past weekend that just I thought was so funny was there's a store that I've been shopping at nearby that's closing. And I remember feeling this sense of, oh no, this is the only place that does the boar's head lunch meat that I like. And now they're closing and I won't have access to that anymore. And feeling just this sense of loss. And here we are with such a very limited number of places that we can visit, limited number of things that we're even able to do right now. So the food store has sort of become our social outlet. And I've become quite close to a lot of the employees that work there. For years I've known them. And it was nice to know that they have a home and that there's other locations where they're moving the employees to. But in the process, I was like, where can I get boar's head lunch meat? And for anybody out there who does enjoy boar's head, it is one of the better lunch meats that's available. So what was funny was one of the fellas that worked at the deli counter had mentioned that there was a place not that far away from where I live, where they do serve this particular brand. And my husband and I decided this weekend that we were going to take a ride to check it out. And it was just so funny. There was just this sense of like lightness and just happiness as I'm getting ready and as he's getting ready. And we're kind of joking and bantering and laughing and smiling. And what for? To take a 15-minute or 10 or 15-minute drive down the road to the next town over to check out the lunch meat counter. So it was funny. And, when we pulled into the parking lot, it was nice to see, a fair array of people that were coming and going. And there were a lot of people who were practicing social distancing, but they were walking on the street. So it was a different experience for us. And even in this social distancing time where we're pulling apart from one another, there's still opportunities to kind of see things, get in the car, take a drive, look at spaces that we don't normally do, get out your phone, take photos, and laugh and have fun. Saturday Night Live, for those of you who are fans of Saturday Night Live, they have been doing something which has been uniquely different, where they're engaging with the at-home audience from their homes. And they did this 2 weeks ago, and then they did another one this past week. And they're just wonderful opportunities to try to do things in a different format, but to bring a smile to our faces. Many of the talk show hosts on TV at first pulled back when all of this first happened back in March. Everybody sort of pulled away from broadcasting. And then many of those talk show hosts started to do things from their own homes and discovered a fun and cute way to bring laughter into our lives, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. There's just this sense of shared camaraderie that comes with these opportunities to see people in their own homes and doing the normal things that we're all doing right now. One of the other places that I have found particularly healing when it comes to humor, because I do find humor healing. And I do just want to stop for just a moment because I talk about this so often. Matter of fact, I write about it on my homepage, on my webpage. People often have this very negative view when they hear the word healing attached to non-medical type procedures. And I want to just let people know that healing is a process. There's a big difference between healing and curing. Healing are all those things that we do that give us a greater sense of ease and well-being in our lives. And that can be things like a cup of coffee, sharing a cup of coffee with a friend, maybe over Zoom right now, or taking those opportunities to laugh. Laughter can be very healing. Reading a book, watching TV, being outside in nature, listening to the sounds of nature, eating something that you enjoy, and on and on and on and on. Smelling something that just heightens the senses and brings you into the moment. Healing Healing and curing are very different. I leave curing up to the medical professionals who have been trained for years to enable them to be able to find what they need to do with each and every person that they see to help them to feel a sense of maybe not finality with whatever's going on, but that sense of someone's helping to cure whatever it is that's happening. And there's healing that goes on in that. There is healing in that, but that's not the only source of healing. Healing can be something as simple as this: listening to a Zoom session, listening to a guided meditation, um, so many different sources of healing, and that's another talk that I do plan on giving. But anyway, laughter, huge. Laughter is a huge, huge, huge sense of healing. And one of the places, as I started to say, that I have found tremendous laughter and healing is TikTok, believe it or not. TikTok. It's an app that you can download on your smartphone. And I had heard of it several years ago, and but really wasn't. I'm not a huge social media person, as you can tell. I even set up this website or this YouTube channel a few years ago and wasn't very good at updating it as I am now. But TikTok is a lot of fun, and it's very short bursts of humorous videos that people like you and me do in their homes. Some of them are famous people, but most of the people on TikTok are just average individuals who are having fun in quarantine. Some of them have separate YouTube channels where they're trying to maybe get some viewers over to watch them. Some of them are very they're very off the cuff, and you can tell they're not well practiced. And there's something really sweet and endearing in those. And then there's others who seem like they take hours and hours to practice incredibly complicated dance routines and pull them off without a hitch. There's lots of funny pet things, both dogs and cats, monkeys. I've seen gerbils and hamsters and rabbits, and I think somebody had a mink, and I think there's been squirrels that some people have as pets. But be that as it may, it truly is just a funny place. And what I have found in watching TikTok is that the there's just this shared sense of laughter with all of us when it comes to quarantine and social distancing, and it's brought a lightness. Um, so if you have a chance, if you haven't done it already, you may want to check out TikTok and just see how that goes. But there was a gentleman, a doctor many years ago, who wrote a profound book on the subject of healing and medicine, and his name was Dr. Bernie Siegel. And I have to be honest, I am not sure whether Dr. Siegel is with us or not. and I don't even want to suppose because I really am not sure if he has passed away or not. But I will say that his seminal book, and his work with healing and laughter, and has just really helped thousands of people over the years to understand that there is incredible, I feel like I'm using the word healing repetitively, but it seems to be the right word. But there's just this profound sense of well-being and this lightness that comes about from this shared laughter, and not feeling like you have to always make things heavy. When I first moved, many years ago, to my husband and I had bought this very little condo on Cape Cod, and we were so excited to have it. And we didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. We didn't want to have it be a source of rental income and have a lot of people coming in and out of the space. But we wanted to have a spot for my son to go and to have fun, and we've had a lot of memories there over the years. And one of the things that I recall was a neighbor of ours who, they were very nice people, but the gentleman who lived there had this obsessive behavior about watching the news 24/7, 365. He was in retirement and was constantly turning on the news on TV. And I remember the one time I was over their place, I had suggested to him, do you think you could maybe find some moments to turn it off, and maybe not feel as though you have to watch the news all the time, that maybe some of the angst and the anger that you're feeling is coming from watching too much news. And I remember his response was just like, oh, just like shocked to even think that I would mention something like that. He said, but how am I supposed to know what's going on in the world? And the funny thing is, you do know what's going on in the world, and there are ways to find this out without having to do things that sort of bring us down or make us angrier or more anxious. Why do we want to do that? I know I just recently deleted 2 apps off my phone that I was spending way too much time reading the news headlines. And I said, this is just I'm just not going to do this. And what I'm trying to do is to find sources of more laughter and more lightness, and bringing that sense of just smiling, and into the most absurd and silly times of the day. Uh, it is what it is, and doesn't mean we have to make fun of our circumstances or make fun of other people. I never like when humor is at the expense of someone else. I find that to be very cruel, and not very humanistic. So humor that is self-deprecating towards ourselves, or brings a smile to someone's face in a gentle way, and doesn't make fun of someone else, um, or doesn't make fun of someone in a cruel way that is hurtful. So always be mindful about the things that you're making fun of with others. Always try to bring mindfulness into that, to be aware of the intention, but to not let go of that laughter, to not let go of that, and to just allow that laughter to infuse our lives. So laugh now and then, smile, don't feel funny about that. Bring that humor into your life, whether it's with a TV show or a funny book or an opportunity to download an app that brings a smile to your face, to share that laughter with friends on Zoom or FaceTime, or to call somebody on your actual phone and have a conversation and just laugh about some of the absurdities and silliness of what's going on. It just, I'm just thinking of some things in my own mind, jokes that I've heard and things that are funny. So please allow that to be part of your life. And thank you for tuning in to this live stream. And again, feel free to pop over to my meetup page, which is Mindful Presence Meditation NH for New Hampshire, Mindful Presence Meditation NH, and you're welcome to sign up for any of the meditation classes that I do on Monday and Thursdays, free on Zoom. And thank you and have a wonderful day. And don't forget to laugh.